War on Us: How the War on Drugs and Myths About Addiction Have Created a War on All of Us. Written and narrated by Colleen Cowles. Introduction. History repeats itself. You are not responsible for the past, but insofar as you do nothing, you are complicit in the present created by it. Jonathan R. Miller. The war on drugs is personal for me, beginning with my parents and continuing with my sons. Prohibition that made alcohol illegal from 1920 to 1933 personally impacted my parents' lives. The drug war nearly cost my son's life. My father was a proponent of legalizing pot decades before the debate was a common topic of discussion. He saw correlations between the alcohol prohibition of his youth and the drug prohibition of mine. He witnessed the escalation of organized crime in his day, and I witnessed the escalation of drug cartels in mine. He saw deaths due to tainted moonshine. I saw homemade meth affect my children's generation. He saw beer drinking change to consumption of harder alcohol during Prohibition. I witnessed skyrocketing overdose rates due to addition of fentanyl to heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine. Both were a result of Prohibition, incentivizing smugglers to concentrate potency to make smuggling cheaper and safer. During my father's childhood, police shot and killed a courier driving moonshine through the small town where Dad grew up. That death never made sense to my father, who believed the driver was an innocent victim simply trying to earn money to survive the Depression. Now we have drive-by shootings and innocent victims of turf wars between drug cartels or rival gangs. Those deaths don't make sense to me. My mother, at the height of the Depression, saved money by living at the county jail where her uncle was sheriff. As a child, I was captivated by her stories of Uncle John warning local farmers before federal agents came looking for stills in their barns. Those farmers were in violation of prohibition laws, but the local sheriff knew that notifying them of potential raids could, with little downside, save lives that would be at risk during a raid. The law was so flawed that sheriffs took it upon themselves to minimize the harm. Today, we have law enforcement professionals in multiple jurisdictions refusing to charge individuals for drug possession, locating treatment for them in lieu of arrest. Many of those in the trenches every day understand that drug prohibition is as flawed as alcohol prohibition was. Unfortunately, drug prohibition has gone on for much longer, leaving many more bodies and destroyed lives in its path. Ultimately, my parents' stories may have saved my son's life. The stories intrigued me as a child, but for years as I focused on my career and starting a family, I paid little attention. Even as a law student and then a practicing attorney, drug policy didn't come to the top of my list of priorities. Then, 2 sons developed substance use issues, followed by arrests for drug possession, and my world collapsed. Parents are told, let them hit bottom. Let them feel the consequences of their choices. Dealing with addiction can be excruciating and confusing, and it was tempting to follow that advice. But my late father's words couldn't be silenced. Was a young courier's death a natural consequence of attempts to make a living? Was Prohibition, the 1920s equivalent of today's drug war, a rational policy? Was it a policy that warranted putting people behind bars? Was Prohibition worth killing people and destroying lives in efforts to enforce it? Those questions also applied to my immediate decisions. Would letting my sons' lives be destroyed by a criminal justice system that punishes addiction be a natural consequence of their drug use? Did our current drug policy reduce or increase the chances that our children would develop a substance use issue? If addicted, would the criminal justice system help them to find recovery or block that path? I wasn't sure. But my parents' stories planted enough doubt to make me look for answers and to resist following conventional wisdom without asking questions. Ultimately, our sons had very different outcomes, largely due to variations in application of drug policy to their individual situations. One son found success through a compassionate prosecutor and judge who allowed us to get him appropriate treatment and to bypass a long-term record. His experience
Sample complete. Ready to continue?